There's the other part, and it plugs into the two-pronged hole on this big box thing. This is the AC adapter. So you just plug it in like this. Plug this into your wall, wherever you have a steady power supply. And then on the other end, we have this tiny little jack for the power cable. This is on the cable that has sort of the two cords to it that goes to this Sony AC adapter. You pick up your camera, and the place where we're going to put this, once again, look at the back of your camera, and on the right-hand side of the back, you see two little doors. One of them says A/V/R. That's the out for if you're going to plug it into a television. And then below that, it says DC in next to the battery. So this little door is going to flip down, and you're going to see the little contact there. There's a little notch, a little black notch on the inside. You're going to match it up with the single silver notch and push it in like so. Be very careful. Double check, make sure you're facing it the right way, and it plugs right in there. You can use this to charge your battery at home, or you can take it out with you. I like to keep mine in the bag because when I go to an interview, if I'm going to be in someone's office or inside where I do have a power source, I'd rather keep my camera powered on just in case something goes wrong with the battery or there's a power outage or whatever. I want my battery to be my backup. If I can plug in my camera, I will. It's just good practice to keep yourself in good stead when you're doing your interviews and shooting video. All right, so your camera's all set up. You have your microphone, you have your battery in the back, you have your your charger all hooked up. Make sure you charge this overnight. That should be good enough for you to get this thing ready to go. Last but not least, we have the tripod. It's a very simple tripod, not overly big, easy to transport. It has a lot of controls in it. In order to extend its legs, the first thing you have to do is you just pull the three legs apart, and you'll see this little part here come out. So now you can stand it up on a table. Makes things really easy. If you want to extend the legs so that it works on the ground, each leg has a little switch or a little tab that you can just pull. There's kind of some give on it. And each one that you pull out, it extends the leg. You can extend it even longer like this. So each leg extends twice. Make sure you lock it down. And when it stands up, I know you can't see the rest of it, but it stands up pretty high enough so that you can do a decent stand-up when you're out in the field, or it makes your camera that much easier to use when you're outside. It gives you a nice steady shot. Very good for in-office interviews as well. To close the legs, you just pull them open. The tripod's very light. Close them up, lock them both. There are some controls on the tripod. This part right here is called the tripod head. This is what your camera is going to attach to. Now there's this arm here, and there's a switch on the front of the arm that'll enable, or an actual dial on the front of the knob that'll enable you to sort of tighten it. This is good for panning and tilting your camera. It gives you some level of control. If you look on the back of the tripod head, you'll see the front of it is the part that says Sony right there. Look on the back. There is another dial back here. This is what's called your tilt lock. You loosen it, and it gives you freer, easier range of motion with your tilting. You turn it clockwise, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, as always. This will lock it down tight. Make sure you don't, if you tighten it, don't tighten it too much because you can break it. And this is not easy to repair. It's also pretty expensive to repair too. On the right-hand side, you see what looks like another knob that has about 5 notches on it. This is your pan lock. So that enables you to turn your camera around 360 degrees. Close that, and now it doesn't move at all. A couple of other cool little features on this thing. I have another knob that's below the tripod head. This is also connected to a crank on the other side. See this little crank? It kind of folds out. What you can do is you can increase the height of your tripod even higher, just cranking this thing up. If you want to lock it down, you just turn the knob on the side, and that thing ain't moving. Okay? So I want to bring it back down. Turn your knob to the left. Turn the crank to the left, and boom, down it goes. You'll find another little reference point right here, actually, if I can turn this around to show you. there's a little level, a little what we call the bubble. It's this little green part. It looks just like a level that you see in your house. And this enables you to show whether or not your camera is nice and level on the ground. If it's not, you can actually adjust your tripod legs, and that'll enable you and get the little bubble inside this tiny little red circle. This will give you a nice, steady, even shot with the ground nice and level. If you happen to be on a hill or something. Last but not least, this is very important. On top of the tripod head, this little switch here is the tripod head lock. This is what we're going to use to connect the camera to the tripod. Last but not least. So, let's take our camera. Here's your tripod head, front of the camera, back of the camera. You're going to place it in the tripod like this. Let's pretend that this is the actual arm for the tripod. You want to push it in front down and slip this little edge of the tripod plate into the front of the notch. Okay? So you'll notice it's kind of a little off when you do that. That's okay, because you're going to pull this latch back, and that will enable you to rest the camera level inside the tripod head, and then you just let it go. And it's not quite tight, so what you have to do is you have to push. You'll see it here on the back. Here's your tripod latch. You go, let me do this again for you so you can see. Push it in front first. It kind of slips in there nice and a little bit loose. Then you pull this and you push it a little bit to give it a little bit of a nice and snug feel. And there it is. It's not going to move anywhere. Okay? To take the camera off the tripod, you'll see the switch. It says lock and free. So when it's pushed in, it's locked. When you pull out, it's free. You just pull it out, back of the camera first. Voila. Let me show it to you again from this angle. Pull the switch. Front first, like that. Let it go, and then push it in, and that thing is locked down. That's your camera tutorial for new media journalism. Take a look at the instructions in the camera. Make sure you know this thing inside and out. Do your homework, and if you do, you will be a pro with this thing in less than a day. Take it out for a spin. It's a lot of fun. If you have any questions, make sure you email us here at the Full Sail New Media Journalism Master of Arts program, either myself, Holly, or Meredith. Thanks again, guys.